Hi, my name is Caroline Albritton. I'm the Assistant Director of the Counseling and Mental Health Center here at TCU, and I'm here to talk about all of our resources for students in recovery. So our Collegiate recovery community typically meets once a week on campus, but since we're all at home and still want to stay connected, we are actually meeting twice a week virtually via Zoom. So on Sunday night at 6 p.m. Central Time and Thursday night, 6 p.m. Central Time, we have an open meeting for any student who has the desire to change their substance use. But typically, a meeting is just a place for people to gather together and talk about their substance use. Whether they're in long-term sobriety or just curious about changing, all students are welcome to attend. This is something I'm really excited about because it's brand new, where we're gonna have a virtual lounge set up every day of the week for 12 hours a day. So from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., again, that's Central Time, but it's a lounge that's set up just like it would be kind of in person, just stop by anytime. So the meeting info is in the description. You know, social distancing doesn't have to mean social isolation. To still stay connected with other people who, again, like are kind of going through the same thing, feeling the same way. So for students in long-term recovery, you know, who have put together continuous sobriety, and for students who have been working a program of recovery and being of service and doing all that, keep doing it. You know, they say in the program that it works when you work it. So as long as you keep working your program of recovery, it will work. The work that you do has a direct effect on how you feel on the day-to-day, you know, taking it one day at a time. For students who are new to the recovery process or just contemplating, you know, maybe have a couple hours sober or a couple days, I would give the same advice, you know, to take it one day at a time. Do more of what works and less of what doesn't. I know it sounds really simple, but it's not easy to do. You know, sometimes it's taking it 24 hours at a time. Sometimes it's taking it 1 hour at a time. You know, just for this hour, how can I not drink? Or how can I not smoke? How can I stay sane just for this hour? You know, because that 60 minutes is more doable than all day or all week or all month. Shoot, for some people, it's maybe 1 minute at a time, and that's okay. You know, to have the grace for yourself to know that I'm doing the best that I can with the tools that I have right now. So like a typical meeting might be on that very topic. It might not even be about substance use, but just about how am I staying okay today? You know, how am I staying sane? How am I staying at peace regardless of what's going on externally? And part of that has to do with substance use. You know, a lot of things going on right now might be triggers to use more or to return to use after a prolonged period of sobriety. But having the peer support and knowing that I'm not the only person who is feeling this way, I'm not the only person who is thinking about this, it's really helpful. And it's really, I think, freeing for a lot of people to hear someone else talking about the exact feeling that they felt. So our Ripple Effect meeting meets on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. The meeting info is in the description. And the Ripple Effect is essentially for anyone who's been affected by somebody else, whether that be somebody else's substance use, somebody else's mental illness. It's all about, you know, how do I stay, you know, healthy and sane and okay despite whatever my loved one is doing. So that could be a parent. It could be a sibling, it could be a significant other or a best friend from home or here at TCU, but whomever it is, if it's affecting you negatively, that's what the Ripple Effect is for. It's a group of students who meet just to talk openly about what I'm doing to stay okay, to stay healthy. For the Ripple Effect was created by students a couple years ago, and we want to continue it virtually to offer the support, the peer support for students who are in the same boat. You know, yeah, my mom's driving me crazy too. You know, let's talk about that. Let's talk about solutions on how I can be okay in this kind of weird time where I wouldn't choose to be around these people, but I have no other choice right now. But I still have choices to be healthy and to be working on myself. First things first, you know, let's keep it simple. One day at a time is a really great slogan that's used, and sometimes that's 1 day at a time, sometimes it's 1 hour at a time, breaking it down to what is attainable and tangible. So what that might look like is just for this next hour, I'm gonna go on a walk outside. Just for this next hour, I'm gonna do this homework assignment. A topic of conversation brought up in our recovery meeting the other night was, what would I do if I was a little kid? Before internet, before school, what did I do for fun? It's like doing puzzles or flying a kite or going swimming, whatever it is for your environment, kind of tapping into something that's just fun and brings you down to earth. Kind of tuning out from the internet and tuning out from your computer, doing something where you're outside, doing something where you're forced to be present. What do I hear right now? What do I see right now? What do I smell right now? What do I feel right now? Those are grounding techniques, really just to kind of bring you back to the present. Anxiousness and worry can set in where you're thinking, what am I going to do a month from now? What am I going to do for 6 months from now? So it's all about bringing it back to the moment. Those are really, really good techniques, not only to stay sane, but to stay sober. Substance use, no matter what substance somebody's using, substance use is really tightly correlated with anxiousness, and so kind of keeping a check on that is important. So if it's doing a virtual counseling session with your counselor here at TCU or at home, if it's going to a virtual meeting to talk to other people, saying things out loud makes a huge difference. Having thoughts in your own head can just start to kind of ruminate and grow and become bigger and kind of take over. Some other tangible kind of things just to still have fun in recovery, I think, is the biggest piece. So things that are fun and silly and exciting to do. Sometimes that involves self-care and treating yourself. It's okay to treat yourself from time to time. So one of our students who did an Instagram takeover, but she was talking about sober cocktails, or mocktails. Having fun with just mixing your own sober beverage, finding a fun recipe. I know even restaurants around here are doing to-go virgin margaritas. Just to kind of have something fun and different to do. Being sober doesn't mean you're just a houseplant and you just drink water for the rest of your life. Having things that are unique and fun, and can even have like a virtual, sober happy hour with friends to stay connected. To students who are still wondering, do I really have a problem? You don't have to answer that right now. You can still go to a virtual meeting and just listen. Just because you're logged in there doesn't mean that you're an alcoholic or an addict. It just means that you're curious, and it means you want to change. And that says a lot about you. To have the courage to explore things that have been on your mind, that's really awesome. And I am so proud of our students in the Collegiate recovery community, because they exercise that courage on a daily basis. To say, this isn't really what I want to be doing, but I'm doing it despite that. Because what I'd want to be doing is just laying in bed, letting my depressive thoughts or anxious thoughts take over. But I know where that leads. We say a lot, play the tape through. Like, what is that going to lead to? What's the next thing after that and the next thing? But playing the tape through, hey, what if I did something different today? What if I took a step to, make today better than it was yesterday? That's a nice version of it. We usually say, how do you make today suck less than it did yesterday? And that's sort of what recovery is. It's not all about abstinence or about sobriety. It's just about making today suck less. And that's progress. So for students who are curious about it or thinking about it or nervous about it, that's okay. All you have to do is log on. That's all you have to do. You don't have to share your name. You don't have to share anything if you don't want to. Just log on and listen. And if you hear anything that you relate to, any similarity, log on again. If you keep hearing similarities, keep coming back. Thank you everybody for listening. I'm so looking forward to meeting you at one of our Collegiate Recovery community meetings or in our virtual lounge. I hope you all are doing well at home, and remember, just to take it one day at a time.